Hey guys, it's Mia here and welcome back once again. And real quick before we get into the nitty gritty of what I wanted to talk about today, I wanted to let you guys know that I am working on the next skit. I have the script draft written and then I have to do the final draft, which goes in this one, and then I have to make the new backgrounds that I need for the skit. So, now with that out of the way, I can tell you guys that I have been working on the skits. I want to get into what I wanted to talk about today, and that is Autumn, the last book in the season series. Now, there is supposed to be a spin-off to the season series, but it's not required for you to have to read to understand the season series, and it's not out yet. But the author is working on it. Now, in Autumn, I know I've said this before, but it is not my favorite book out of the series. The author was adamant that I actually would really love it. It's not a bad book. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad book. There's just a very specific reason as to why I don't like the book. So, once again, our four team members are back together with their humongous cast of friends. I mean, they have a lot of friends and they just grow throughout these books, so I'm not going to list them off here because there are a ton of friends. And it's not because, I'm lazy and I don't feel like telling you all of them, but we'd be here a while if I went through every single one of them. Another thing, though, he does do is in the back of the book, I don't think I ever showed this, but in the back of the book, he does show, all the characters in the book and gives you, a little rundown of them. So in case you're confused or you're stuck or there's way too many to remember, he gives you nice character summaries in the end of each book, which is also nice. So once again, our cast of four is back together. It goes the first book, it's all four of them, but it mainly centers around Eric. Then the second book is Jenny and Eric, and it centers around them with Ava and Mark not being in the picture because of reasons. Wait, they were kidnapped. I said that in the video because it's on the back of the book. It's not a spoiler when it's smack dab on the back of the book. They weren't in the story because they were kidnapped. So that was Jenny and Eric going to save them. And then in summer, which I had just gotten done with, it's Mark and Ava's journey. But now, once again, our cast of four is back together again. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but hey, okay. So, this one mainly centers around Ava. And you're like, well, if the book, kind of ties everything together nicely, why don't you like the book? I'll get to that in a minute. So, I feel like in this one, as opposed to the other three in the series, they all had a nice journey that led up to them finding their seasonal items. I'm not going to tell you how, and I'm not going to tell you what happened, but they all found their seasonal items. That was the goal of those books. And they spent the whole story trying to do that, as well as deal with the next enemy that their main baddie, Confucia, has sent after them. They get a nice journey. They get all of this time going around the world to get their seasonal items. And I feel like Ava, she gets half the book. And I know why the author did that, because he wanted to go and finish the story. But I feel like that was very unfair to Ava. Everyone else got this huge epic journey to get this item that is so important to their powers, and then here's Ava, the one that's already feeling insignificant because she feels like her season is the least needed. And she is constantly taunted through this series of winter, summer, and spring. I know I said them out of order, but that's not the point. She's constantly taunted. Poor Ava is called dragon food by the main baddie, and that's because he thinks that that is all she is good for, is to feed his dragons. And with him reinforcing that, every time he sees Ava, he always says, "Oh, dragon food, what are you gonna do? You're nothing but dragon food," and just taunts her the whole time. And then, on top of his taunting, that makes her insecure because she's constantly asking not only the other three, but herself, am I really needed? Do I really contribute anything to the team? Do I help in any way? Or am I just the weak link in this team? I mean, Eric can make blizzards without even thinking about it. Jenny can make plants spring out of the ground to attack people. Mark can control the freaking sun. How does a gust of wind compare to all of that? And that's how she thinks through these entire books. She just feels like her season is utterly worthless. And in a way, rushing her finding of her seasonal item kind of makes me feel like the author is saying, your story wasn't worth a whole book. Your story wasn't worth taking all this time to talk about. We gotta finish it up. We need to deal with the main berry? Main berry! I'm just gonna call the main bad guy a berry from now on. Apparently. We gotta deal with the main baddie in this situation. And he's gotta be dealt with, like, now. We gotta get it done. He needs to go. But that just reinforces for me, like, Ava's, not sarcasm, self-esteem issues. And I feel like that is very unfair to Ava because she already is feeling insignificant. And her rushing, getting the, like, she gets her seasonal item, like, pretty much right off the bat in the story. No big adventure, none of that. She's kind of literally just handed her seasonal item and said, there you go, get out of my face, you got your item, we need to go and deal with the bigger threat here. I get that it's supposed to be the final showdown between our four heroes and heroines, but I feel like the author could have taken at least a little longer to show how she gets to her seasonal item, while still cooking up a plan to beat our main baddie, Confucia. But that just doesn't happen. Ava's pushed into the foreground. She's like, bam, seasonal item, I got it, let's go. She didn't get no grand adventure. And I feel like it shortcuts her. I feel like, to me, that would reinforce, well, I'm not that significant. It took forever to get my seasonal item. Or, it didn't take me so long to get my seasonal... It didn't take me that long to get my seasonal item. There was no grand trial to get it. Did I really earn it if there was no trial? I was literally just handed it. I didn't earn it like the others did. Does that mean I'm not as powerful? Does that mean what Confucia was saying about me all along was true? And it's not true. Ava does contribute through all of these series. Hell, in summer, she freaking punches a mermaid in the face because they were going all crazy and like, I'm gonna eat you because the full moon. She didn't even use her powers. No, she just decked the mermaid in the face. Don't mess with Ava because she will get you. But that's just not fair. And that's the number one reason that this book is my least favorite in the series. No offense to the author, it's still a good book. I like the book, I really do. If I didn't like the book, I wouldn't read the book. It's just, why'd you have to shortcut her? I get you need to finish off the big bad. I get that. You could also go on a journey to find her seasonal item while still kicking the main baddie's ass. You didn't have to shortcut her. And I like Ava. She's a sweetheart. But that just wasn't fair. And that's my main complaint about Autumn, is the fact that I feel like she is so shortcutted. All to get to the big final showdown with the main bad. But I mean, I guess in a way she got as much book time as the other other three. But still, I would have liked to see the full journey of her getting her item, as well as kicking some bad guy ass on top of it. And that just didn't happen. And that's why Autumn is still a good book, but it's definitely my least favorite in the series because of that. And my favorite in the series? Summer, by far. I relate to Mark's snarky, sarcastic bark, and I relate to Summer's my favorite holiday, even though summer is centered in the middle of winter. So there's that. Did I say holiday? I meant season. And then I just love the storyline of having to deal with enemies coming back from the dead and having to fight them again. And not only enemies, but friends coming back from the dead and what it does to the seasons. So Summer is my favorite. Mark is my favorite character. And Ava is my least favorite. I don't really have a least favorite character, aside from Confucia, because he's the embodiment of chaos. But, yeah, that's different. We're supposed to hate him. But, yeah. That's my thoughts on Autumn, and that's why I keep telling you guys this one's not my favorite. You've heard that, but now you know why. So, if you decide to read these books, I highly recommend them, especially if you like the stuff about Greek myths and like stuff like Rick Riordan does. This is for you. So if you like this series and you've liked my review on these series, this series is for you. So, as always, if you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell down below to stay up to date on future videos. Hope to see you next time. Bye, guys!